Alright, to get started on our sweet potato tacos, we're going to first soak our beans overnight, and then the day after we're going to drain and rinse them and cook them in some fresh water with some whole garlic cloves. I'm using around 5 to 6 garlic cloves here, and then 2 veggie bouillon cubes. You can also use paste. I just let them simmer for around an hour until they're nice and soft and a little bit creamy on the inside. And yeah, so once they're done, set them aside. Or once they're cooking, you can just set them aside while we slice up our sweet potatoes. We're doing around 5 small medium ones here, and I'm cubing them really small so they can cook really fast in the oven, and so they can fit in our tacos at a reasonable bite-sized piece. So once we get them all cubed up, then we're gonna season them on the baking sheet, and I used a silicone mat for this. Also, for this recipe, I end up using 2 different types of sweet potatoes, Japanese sweet potato and then just a regular orange sweet potato. And that made a really good contrasting flavor with the mix. Alright, so once they're on the mat, I'm putting some olive oil on here. The exact measurements will be in the recipe below. And I'm also going to season it with some onion salt, and this is really yummy because it just adds some extra flavor. If you don't have onion salt, you can do regular salt and maybe some sliced onions with it. And then also, I thought it'd be fun to add some cinnamon, and this just gives it like a sweet and salty taste. And cinnamon with squash or sweet potato is just such an amazing combo. So I highly recommend doing this. Don't be afraid. It really made these tacos amazing. And so we're just going to pop them into the oven for around 30 minutes or until they're like nice and soft and slightly crispy. Okay, so moving on to our cabbage slaw, I'm just first making the dressing by adding some apple cider vinegar, date syrup, olive oil, some fresh lemon juice. I'm only doing half of a lemon here actually. And then something that is optional but I highly recommend is adding something creamy. So I did a vegan cream cheese because I didn't have vegan mayo, and it actually turned out amazing. So if you have vegan cream cheese or cream cheese, I would recommend this. Okay, so set that aside while we actually make the slaw part. And this is just going to be some shredded cabbage. I did half of a small cabbage here. You just slice it and then you break it apart and it turns into shreds. And then after our cabbage, you can also do purple cabbage. I just had this on hand and it's in season right now, so really great to use seasonal veggies. This recipe is all about seasonality, which is awesome. And same with the onion. Onions are in season right now as well, so I'm doing a red onion. I'm just going to slice the whole one. It's a small red onion, so it's totally fine. It won't overpower the slaw. And once it mixes with like the apple cider vinegar and the acidity, it turns almost pickled. So this is great. And I'm just breaking it apart into thin slices because we don't want giant chunks of onion. That won't be fun to eat. Okay, and so once we're done with the onion, I'm just giving it a little mix with the cabbage, and then moving on to our large carrot. I did like a very large carrot for this, so just make sure you julienne it really finely, and if you don't have the time for that, you can grate it with a cheese grater, but this is totally fine with just 2 carrots. I think you can manage. And so we're just going to incorporate that all together, pour in our dressing that we made earlier, give it another mix. And now it's time to assemble our tacos. This is the fun part. Once you take your sweet potato out of the oven, turn off the heat on your beans. And I topped it all off with some cilantro, canned corn, some avocado, and some fresh lime on the side. And this was an amazing dinner. I hope you give this a try, and thank you.